Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 55 of the TEW 2020 New Japan Pro Wrestling Series here on the channel, as it is the Sakura Genesis Tour. We get to see the fallout from the New Japan Cup. As far as our main event, of course, Chaos versus Chaos. It is the New Japan Cup winner, Shotaro Ashina, taking on Kazuchika Okada, of course, our IWGP Heavyweight Champion, who has been on a tear. A run that might even rival the legendary run he had in as far as from basically Dominion after beating Tetsuya Naito all the way until Dominion of the following year against Kenny Omega, which, or actually, that would be 2 years ago, from then. That's right. Not one, as the second Dominion. Because the first one was the 60-minute time limit matchup. That's neither here nor there. we're rocking and rolling, though, with this Sakura Genesis tour. And I think we're in a great spot to have some big time matches. We have, as far as 6 title matches on the main card, plus 2 underneath matches, as far as an 8-man and a tag match. Of course, we talked about the main event already. Intercontinental title matchup, though, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Zack Sabre Jr. This is a trilogy matchup, and Zack has won both times. He beat him during the G1, which caused him to have an Intercontinental title match up at the Royal Quest show, which Zack Sabre Jr. won, of course, winning a Intercontinental title at the, in England. I mean, that was absolutely huge for that man, and that's probably one of his highlights of his career, to be honest, especially during this save. As the IWGP Tag Team title matchup, the Young Bucks versus Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi. As far as I believe, that's another trilogy matchup between the two teams. It might have happened only once, but I think it's happened twice. But that's a fun match, though. We'll see how the Young Bucks do against Naito and Hiromu. Of course, this is happening because the 6-man at the Cup, where AJ and the Bucks beat Naito, Hiromu, and Shingo. As U.S. title matchup, Josh Alexander versus Bryan Danielson. We talked about this match a little bit in the last episode, building to it, and now it's happening. As that's a big matchup for Josh Alexander. We'll see how he does against Bryan Danielson. Then a New Japan Strong Openweight title matchup, Miro versus Kota Ibushi. Sure, could we have this be a match on Strong and have it like main event? Yeah, sure. But I felt like this is a fun time to have, the Strong Openweight title be featured on a New Japan major event. So that's why we're doing it here. But this is a fun match, though. Miro and Kota Ibushi, two guys that's stylistically very different. But I think they'll have a very fun match because they will beat the shit out of each other if it comes to that. And then the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchup, Alex Shelley and Kaji D'Amato of Liberty United taking on Daniel Makabe and Jonathan Gresham. See how Makabe and Gresham do against Alex Shelley and Kaji D'Amato. Now, that is an interesting matchup there because they have had 2 title matches in the past, and each team has beaten each other. Then they've had a draw. I want to say that was during a Road 2 show, actually, not even like a... I want to say that was during the Super Junior Tag League, actually, is when the draw happened. So they are 1-1-1. So this is to break that and to see which team, or it was going to be another 60-minute time limit draw, who knows. But that should be a fun match, though, and I think it's going to be a really good matchup there. Then the Astronauts of Fuminori Abe and Takuya Nomura taking on Jay White and Masashi Takeda. So this is kind of like a follow-up of Miro and Kota Ibushi, but also Jay White, of course, never openweight champion. He doesn't have a title match since he defended his belt at the New Japan Cup finals, so that's why there's not a never openweight title match on that card. But, potentially there, Takuya Nomura and Fuminori Abe, they have a great opportunity to beat Jay White and maybe become a future never openweight champion, or even continue building their momentum in the tag division and maybe look to take on the winners of that tag team title matchup. Who knows? And then the 8-man. It's House of Nokiism, Katsuri Shibata, Alex Coughlin, Clark Connors, and Carl Fredericks taking on Brody Lee, Evil, and the Order of Destruction of Will Hobbs and Calvin Tankman, which that's a pretty stacked opener, to be honest. There's some very good guys, obviously, on the Dark Order side, and even on the House of Enochiism side. Like Coughlin and Connors have really come around, even though they're not going to have a tag team chemistry bonus in this matchup, but they still should do pretty well. We'll see what happens in that matchup, but there's 4 Road 2 shows, and, as far as we have 4 matches pre-booked for each of them, so we should run through this pretty seamlessly. Most of it's building matches, but there are some kind of matches just to kind of give some guys an opportunity to be on as far as on the tour. But as far as I really don't know what's I honestly now forget what's kind of booked on each show, so we get to just kind of go through it together. But we'll run the TEW General Gymnasium for the first night. As so we have 2 Blast Off and House of Torture matches. And we also have Bryan Danielson and Hayato Tamura against Josh Alexander and Walter, which is a fun match there. I guess we have to determine what's going to be. So I think this is going to be Jay White. Okay, so this is 6-man. This is Ibushi with Astronauts against Miro, Jay White, and Takeda. Ibushi against Masashi Takeda. It's going to be a 20-minute matchup. Yeah, we'll have that. We'll just add that. But I think this will probably be the main, though. Bryan Danielson and Hayato Tamura against Josh Alexander and Walter, which Walter going to beat Hayato Tamura. That's a big win for Walter there. That's a fun match, though. Those guys can go. That would be an awesome match to see in real life. But, yeah, this is a junior tag team matchup. That's how I figured this was going to be the junior matchup, as Shun Skywalker and Jason Lee are going to beat Drew Parker and Taiji Shimori. Setting that as a steal of the show matchup. I like that. And then the Order of Destruction against Coughlin Connors. Great opportunity for Coughlin Connors, but the Order of Destruction, they're going to murder the poor boys here. It's kind of funny. They've had a match that was a 15 before and a 52 before, back when we started this thing. And as far as that was probably one of, I want to say that's probably episode like 4 or 5. So that's August. So it's around there. It's definitely one of the earlier episodes. But to think where they're going to be at now, that's going to be a pretty good match, honestly, even on this tour show. And now for our 2 matches here, we're going to have a singles match as one of them. We're going to go with, let's see which young line I want to use for this. We might even just use someone like Yui Mora, who's, obviously a graduated young lion, but could use a little bit of push in the right direction. I kind of just want to see, what, just teaming up Ren Narita and him, just to, see what we got. Ren Narita. Yeah, we'll just use Tenkoji, actually, since I know Kojima at least is recognizable. Poor Tenzan, though, is not. So Yui Mora is going to beat Tenzan. It's a big opportunity for these men. And that'll be a technical class matchup. Yeah, Tenzan's going to struggle, but hopefully the match is okay enough to where it can work, but it might not be. We're having a fine line there, as, let's see. As far as, Oiwa's been really, really good out of the young lions, out of our 4. He's probably been, like, the best one, to be honest. We'll have him see who he'll face here that's recognizable. Yeah, Hayato Jr. Fujita's always a good call. Rocky's not a bad option either. Yeah, we might go with Rock there, as, they've had some matches as far as tag matches against Rocky, but not a straight-up singles matchup. Rock obviously going to win, and that's the first show in the books. We'll see how it runs here. Let's go. The 38, yeah. Figured it was going to be tough, but Yui Mora, though, best guy in the match, though. That does warm the heart a little bit. We just got to get him a little bit better. Plus, we got to add some actual finishers for that man. A fucking drop kick you do not need anymore. you are now established talent. You got to get an actual finish. So 51 for Rocky and Oiwa. They have good chemistry, so that's fun. The Foreign Devil for Rocky, getting the win at 950. He was really off his game and even cooled the crowd a little. So hopefully we get it back by this next matchup, which we somewhat do. 77 there. It's not bad at all. As Hobbs and Tankman, of course, beating Coughlin Connors with the Doomsday Plunge, as Tankman pinning Coughlin there. But 77 for Hobbs, 72 for Tankman, and the 58s and 57s for Connors and Coughlin. Not bad at all. Decent little matchup there. 67 for Jason Lee and Shun Skywalker against Drew Parker and Taiji Shimori. Big win for the Jason Lee Shun Skywalker team. Getting the one with the Skywalker moonsault is Shun Skywalker over Drew Parker. There is an upset there. Obviously Ishimori with the 73, better than everybody in that match by far. But Good win, though, for Blastoff. And, of course, that will also mean that Blastoff, again, getting a win over House of Torture, which is interesting. Probably should have split it, but that's all right. Especially had the junior team before get the win. But 74 here with Kota Ibushi pitting Masashi Takeda with the Phoenix Plex, an 80 for Ibushi, 75s for Jay White and Miro, then high 50s for Abe, Takuya Nomura, and Takeda. Takuya Nomura being the worst guy in that match, I did not see coming, though. That's a bit disheartening. And our main event is 74, so not the greatest of shows, but Bryan Danielson and Naoya Tamura losing to Josh Alexander and Walter, which is a big opportunity for Walter. At least it was kind of close for Naoya Tamura and Josh Alexander as far as close to them, but obviously Bryan was going to be head and shoulders above everybody else, which he carried the matchup. Tough break there for Dragon's Den, but it just felt like Walter needed a big win, and he gets to win the Burning Lariat, which is pretty great. Pretty great finish to have. 73, though, for the first tour show. Not great, but hopefully we get it rocking and rolling on the next show. Really, that was just kind of a shitty opener, kind of derailed everything. But that's alright, though. It's a tour show. It's not that big of a deal. We're just trying to get as many people on that tour as we can is the idea. But, yeah, on to the next night we go. Alrighty, day 2 of the Sakura Genesis tour. So, as far as probably the main event is definitely, so that's up there with Shinsuke Nakamura and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Lee Moriarty. What a huge opportunity for Lee Moriarty there. That's a huge match to be a part of. It's Flamita, Spot for Wrestlers Court, accused of failing to pick up a share of the tab at the bar as the judge, Hiroshi Tanahashi, found him guilty and sentenced by drinks right after the show. As, so I don't want to run Kanto because I think that's where we're going to run Sakura Genesis, but maybe not, though. We might run somewhere else, like the Pepe Dome or somewhere. You never know. See where we can find. Yeah, I guess the Amino Value Hall could be our next best idea here. I know we've been trying to run here as much as we can, because I know it's not really our most popular place to run, but it's nice to at least go there every now and again. But what a fun main event. The great opportunity for Lee Moriarty. Obviously, he's losing. He's taking the loss here in this matchup. But Tanahashi's going to beat him in 20 minutes there. So then, could go either way. Could go Task Force Death and Chaos. Because I think that's a 6-man. It's going to be the main event opponents teaming up, though, with Joe Doring take on Task Force Death. A 6-man, Kenta, Kingston, Pac, of course. And, as far as Chaos have beaten them every single time that they have had an interaction like this. They had the Strong main event, and they had the Road 2 show on the anniversary, the 8-man, which Chaos won that match as well. And Ashina's going to be Pac here. So, tough break for Task Force Death. Could definitely be the main event, though. We might just bump it up as the main. Just see what happens. United Empire versus Dragon's Den. As a 6-man here. Lee Moriarty should not be in this match as well, as that could be really anybody else. We're going to go with Gavin McGavin. Might go with Jarvis, though. That'd be fun. Corey Jarvis getting involved. Here we go. 20-minute matchup. Katsuki Nomura getting the win. We'll have him beat Dan Garcia. Big win, though, for United Empire. And then Justice versus Velocities. As I figured, everyone kind of knows how this one's going to go. This is just to get Justice on the card, get him some wins, and also get Velocities on the card as well. Is Juice going to get the win there in 16 minutes? Probably should have cut that down a little bit, but that's alright. So we need a Steal the Show match and a Technical Masterclass matchup. So the Steal the Show matchup, thinking 6-man. See what we get, because Caristico is Samurai del Sol. And Cindeor is not a bad option. It's always a fun 6-man team. Fun trio. And so I'm trying to think. I was thinking the Foundation. So Myron Reed, Yay High, and we could go with either Shelton. Which kind of, I think we'll go with Shelton Benjamin. It's a fun little match. Caristico and Shelton Benjamin. As far as Prime Shelton Benjamin and Prime Caristico, that match fucking slaps. That's a banger of a matchup, but Caristico will get the win there. That's a good match, though. That's actually a lot better than I thought we were going to have for still the show matchup. And then we'll have a tag match be the Technical Masterclass, as I think we'll have the Young Lions of Yasutaka Yano and Yuto Nakashima take on the team of... Yeah, we've got Roddy here, as far as... Get Roddy and AJ get a win. Nah, as far as... let's see what we have. Reynolds and Coughlin's not a bad call. Reynolds and Silva, rather. Not Reynolds and Coughlin. Not a bad call either. We could also have, like, King Mo and Lockhart potentially there. Got a lot of different options. You know, Fujinami and Taguchi's not a bad call either. I think Taguchi's... Oh, they're all unimportant. Great. I guess we'll go with Fujinami and Kojima. Kind of be weird, though. Oh, yeah, Black Taurus as well. We could go with Black Taurus and either Silver or Reynolds. If we want to change it up a little bit. Go with John Silver. There we go. As Black Taurus getting the win. Not a bad show. This is definitely a lot better than the first day. If I had to guess. Yeah, we're good to go, though, for the show. Let's run it. As a 54 for the opener. John Silver and Black Taurus beating Yuto Nakashima and Yasutaka Yano. Which I think the announcing gave it a bit of a lift. The Infernal Suplex for Black Taurus in 16 minutes over Yuto Nakashima. 72 for the Caristico Golden Dragons team against the Foundation. La Mystica for Caristico. As, 83. Nobody was even close to him. And makes sense that he gets the win. He beats Byron Reed, who was the worst guy on their team and the Foundation's team. Not bad at all. As Justice versus Velocities. That's a good little effort there from the Velocities. They did the same rating as Hanare, which is embarrassing for him. But Juice Robinson with Pulp Friction over Paris Day Silva. That's a decent little matchup. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. 70 here for the six-man to United Empire. Great O'Khan, Katsuki Nomura, and Corey Jarvis against Dragon's Den. As Kyle O'Reilly, Hayato Tamura, and Daniel Garcia losing to the United Empire team as Katsuki Nomura pinning Daniel Garcia with a lariat. Hayato Tamura, though, best guy in the match. Good shit. Corey Jarvis and Daniel Garcia were pretty close in the ratings. As we got animals all over the place here, knocking over stuff. Just fine. Just great. Nothing like a recording where there's stuff getting moved around all over the place. In the background, as Hiroshi Tanahashi pinning Lee Moriarty with a Dragon Suplex hold. It's a good little match. As far as Nakamura with a 90. Impressive stuff. Tanahashi with a 77. Yeah, Lee Moriarty didn't have a prayer in that one to get on that same level, but that's a good shout, though. That's a good way of him getting involved with some very, very talented dudes. And that's a good match, though, honestly. And, yeah, this is the right decision to have that be on last, though, as Chaos versus Task Force Death. Ashina with a T-Bone suplex on Pac. That's a 92. Very, very good stuff here. Okada with an 85. Ashina was off his game. 79 there. Gets outperformed by Pac. Kenta with a 78. 75 for Doring. And then Kingston with a 69. It's nice, but that's I mean, you can't beat that. A 92 on a tour show. Can't beat that at all. Great main event. And, well, halfway point of the tour. On to day 3 we go. Alrighty, day 3. As we have a 6-man of House of Nokiism versus Dark Order. Liberty United versus United Empire. Believe that is a junior 6-man in that one. Well, actually, not junior 6-man because Hammerstone's on the Liberty United side. But yeah, that's just building up to a junior tag team title matchup. Kenta and Pentagon Jr. taking on Shingo and Bushi in that matchup. That's a fun little match. And then Rushmore taking on Los Ingobernables de Japón. As that's probably the main there in that one. But Okada passing on psychology tips to Yuto Nakashima. And then Milano Collection AT passing on microphone work to Yasutaka Yano. And then Ishii passing on microphone work to Tomoya Harada. So, as far as, again, we just got to keep on finding where we need to go. I think we're going to go to the Nagoya Congress Center for this one. Back to, as far as back to the Chupu area. But, yeah, Rushmore, LIJ. This is we've had this match a couple of times now. But Hiromu's going to get the win this time. He's going to beat AJ Styles. That's a huge win. As far as this matchup, usually we either have Shingo or Sonata as the sixth man, but this match was at the New Beginning in the USA show. And, of course, Rushmore won that one, but nice to get them that win back for LIJ. This LIJ Kenta Pentagon Jr. match is so interesting. The Steal the Show matchup, Pentagon Jr. going to beat Bushi there. I think we're going to have that there. And then Liberty United versus United Empire. Six-man tag, the Great O'Khan going to be beating Alexander Hammerstone. Could be a good little matchup, though. See how that one plays out. And then House of Enochiism versus Dark Order. As Evil and the Order of Destruction are going to lose to Katsuri Shibata, Carl Fredericks, and Clark Connors. That's a big upset for the House of Enochiism team, as Shibata going to be beating Evil there. Tough break for Dark Order in that one. As, I think again we're going to go with a singles matchup to have a young lion get some experience in. You might even use Harada. Try to help get him over the hump here. Trying to think if there's anybody like Kojima. Besides, that's not Kojima. I guess we could use Shelton Benjamin here. That'd be pretty wild to have Shelton Benjamin lose to Tomoya Harada, but we got to do something let's make it a tag match at least to make this a little bit more even. We'll have Ishii and Harada team up to take on Benjamin and King Mo. Tomoya Ishii, Tomoya Harada. What's King Mo's pop? So, I mean, in Japan it's not great. Harada's is better, for sure. So this would just help Harada out by having him beat Shelton Benjamin. Hell of a win. Hell of a win. There, my God. And then we'll have, I guess another tag for the Technical Masterclass matchup. We'll use Fujita and Oiwa. Yeah, I mean, there's Shane Strickland that we could use. I know he's still not technically ready yet, but that'd be a good idea. Could even use Takeda and Sugiura. I know they've been struggling a little bit as far as momentum-wise. Could help them out a lot. Takeda get a win. I'm about to say, I think we've done this before. Yeah, back end of last year, the Road 2 show for the Wrestle Grand Slam tour. Alright. Let's run day 3. As 44 for the opener. Not great. As far as didn't warm up the crowd at all. Yeah, I guess we should have probably had just be a normal matchup, maybe. As Takeda tapping out because Fujita's ankle lock in 16:30. It's okay matchup. Not great, but, it's not what we're wanting. As Ishii gets injured here. As far as, the better team won, though. Even with Ishii being off his game and getting injured. As Harada pinning Shelton Benjamin with a sliding lariat. That's a huge win for Harada. He's almost in the 50s now. Tough break there. 70, though, for the 6-man of House of Enochiism versus Dark Order, which the Dark Order team clearly were the better team, but Evil at least losing to Shibata was kind of close, but even then, Shibata was really off his game, so that affected that as well. But the ankle lock win for Shibata over Evil. So I got a 70. Decent little matchup there. Don't think we almost got injured by Katsuri Shibata. That could have been bad. A 76 for this 6-man of Liberty United versus United Empire. Great O'Khan tapping out Alexander Hammerstone with the Cobra Clutch. As great win there from United Empire. Obviously, Makabe head and shoulders above everybody else, but great win, though, for O'Khan and Gresham. Or a great performance, rather, from O'Khan and Gresham, outperforming Shelley and Hammerstone and Kaiju Yamato, clearly. But that got a 76-77 for the Steal the Show matchup of LIJ, of Shingo and Bushi against Kenta and Pentagon Jr. Fun little team there, as right team wins for sure. Pentagon Jr. with the cross armbar on Bushi there in 12 minutes. Fun win, though. And an 83 for the 6-man of Rushmore versus LIJ, as LIJ gets the win. Here's Hiromu pinning AJ Styles with a time bomb. Great win for Hiromu. Right team wins. Barely, though. It's pretty close. Got the crowd hotter, too, so that was nice to see. And, not a bad way to save the show a little bit. It's not bad, just the openers and the next matchup kind of stunk. But that's alright, though. It's a tour show. No big deal. Now our final tour show coming up is on to day 4 of the Sakura Genesis tour. Alrighty, day 4, as we have big main event in Shotaro Ashino and Joe Doring teaming up to take on Okada and Ishii. It's a bit of a inner chaos tag match to lead up into the Sakura Genesis show, but also Nakamura and Bryan Danielson teaming up to take on Zack Sabre Jr. and Josh Alexander. What a match that is. We'll see if Nakamura and Bryan Danielson can come together and have a good performance here. As passing on tips and microphone work to Hayato Tamura, Satoshi Kojima. That honestly could be a main event for sure, but we're going with Doring and Ashino instead over Okada and Ishii. As Doring beating Ishii there in 20 minutes. I knew it. I fucking knew that Ishii was going to be out. Son of a bitch. Well, that has made this match fall down a very, very slippery slope. So now Goto's going to have to fill in. That's now not going to be the main event. Yeah, that's not it. So we'll go with now Nakamura, Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Josh Alexander. So there will be some miscommunication. Danielson just has had enough in ups and leaves Nakamura high and dry for a 2-on-1, which he'll eventually lose, as Josh Alexander going to be beating Nakamura. Tough break for Shinsuke there, but a hell of a win for Josh Alexander, though, nonetheless. Go ahead and change that. So then, Jay White and Miro against Takuya Nomura and Kota Ibushi. It's a good little matchup here. Miro's going to beat Takuya Nomura. A little bit of a momentum swing for Miro going into the title match with Ibushi, then blast off against Logan Gray and the Velocities. Fun little 6-man, setting as a steal of show matchup, as Jason Lee going to get the win there for his team. So for the undercard, let's go with a singles matchup, if we can. As, I know we've just used Oiwa and Fujita. So, yeah, we should have used all the young lions by now, yeah. Yeah, we're good to go. We might try to get a win for Yui Mora, though. I'm thinking about it. As far as maybe a win over Kojima here. Not a bad idea. Trying to get him in that right direction. A good win. Good win for Yui Mora. Which, again, we have to change his finisher. I'm not sure if we should have it be a technical masterclass or just a regular match. I think we'll just have it be regular, and then we'll have poor Kojima here, as yeah, he's definitely feeling the effects now. Just stamina being a little too much for him. Yeah, we'll have I'm thinking either a 6-man potentially here for the technical masterclass matchup. As you Theodore purring away, as trying to think would be a good option here. And as far as United Rage with Jarvis, not a bad call. As far as Dragon's Den, don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. This is a nice little bounce back match for the Dragon's Den team, because I think we're gonna have Hail Tamura beat Jarvis. It's crazy, we've only used Jarvis twice in the entire year. No, we're only 4 months in, but that's still pretty bad, as far as that's not a great percentage to be having. Yeah, it looks like we'll run the Wakayama Prefectural Gym in Osaka here. And we should be good to go for day 4. And yeah, let's run the show. No, never mind. There we go. Now we're running at 69 for the opener. Nice, as Dragon's Den beating United Empire. Say out tomorrow with the Hayato driver on Corey Jarvis in 20 minutes. 1956 to be exact. But yeah, Hayato tomorrow, best guy in the match. Makes sense he beats the worst guy in the match. It's a 47 for Kojima and Yui. And Yui Mora, rather, as Yui Mora with the Boston Crab in 12 minutes. At least he outperforms Kojima. That's just sad. This makes me sad seeing Kojima do so bad. It's Blast Off versus Velocities and Logan Gray, as Jason Lee pinning Logan Gray with the Sunset Flip Powerbomb in 12 minutes. Fun little steal the show matchup, but didn't really do what we needed it to, as Abe was off his game. But, yeah, I mean, we have a 58, some 56s, some 53s, and 55s with Logan Gray, just way down there on the totem pole. And then Miro and Jay White against Ibushi and Takuya Nomura. Nomura taking the game over from Miro and getting the submission win is Miro. But, yeah, right decision there. Takuya Nomura nowhere close to the rest of the guys in that matchup. Gotta doing some good work ringside. 74 here for the co-main. Yeah, Goto. At least he wasn't terrible, but still definitely deserved to be in the co-main spot now, as Shino and Doring getting the win. The better of the Chaos team in that one, but it's a good win for Shino and Doring. And then 85 for our main event is Bryan Danielson and Shinsuke Nakamura. Hell of a team, but yeah, they are at, as far as Bryan Danielson, the ego got to him, and just like, I'm not letting, I'm not being upstaged by Shinsuke Nakamura. He can win this by himself. I don't need to be, I need to be focused on beating Josh Alexander. I don't need to be worried about this tag match type of thing. But yeah, the Pearl River Plunge for Josh Alexander over Shinsuke Nakamura. Huge win for Josh Alexander, first of all. That might have actually played against Bryan Danielson's kind of, as far as him wanting to focus on Josh Alexander not being involved in that tag match. That might have given Josh Alexander a huge momentum, shift in getting him in the right direction, getting him prepared for his match against Bryan. So that's interesting. Hopefully we'll see if that turns out to bite Bryan Danielson as far as that the unprofessionalism there. Or will Bryan Danielson still get the win over Josh Alexander? We'll find out very shortly. On to Sakura Genesis we go. Alrighty, so we'll see how this Sakura Genesis plays out. As, we have some huge matches, though, for sure. And, there's a lot of big-time matches to have on this Sakura Genesis. As, backstage incident, Milano Collection AT passing on microphone work to Yasu Takayano. So, yeah, Hiromu and Shingo last year was an 84. As Hiromu, of course, winning the cup, going on to win the heavyweight title. We'll see if Shotaro Ashino can do the same thing. It's kind of funny. LIJ versus LIJ, and fast forward now to this year's, and we're doing Chaos versus Chaos. See what we did. Okay, yeah, that's right. We did Ibushi and Brody Lee. And I think, yeah, we did Naito and Tomohiro Ishii as our first. That was our, basically our second episode. Because obviously the cup was first. That's not bad. Not a bad little card. And then Shingo and Goto, of course, Ishii and Goto was the finals from that year. Oh boy, G.O.D. Getting bugged out. Look at Akira Francesco beating Kendo Koben. Oh boy. Yeah, Bullet Club and Suzuki-gun, two things that are not a thing anymore. Okada and Yoshihashi. We've seen how that played out. It's so fun. Dangerous Tekkers, of course, another thing that failed miserably because they didn't have any chemistry. How fun. Nice to go down memory lane a little bit. That's crazy that I only got a 78. I wonder what happened. If we just made it a steal the show match or something. Because that should be way better. Yeah, and then Doring and Ashino against Sonata and Shingo. Yeah, back on our tag division, of course, saving us as always. But, yeah, Tokyo Dome, of course. 63,000 in attendance. We could probably run the National Stadium, to be honest. Yeah, let's run the Dome. Be fun. Fun to go back to the Dome. So, yeah, our main event, of course. Ashino, Okada, and he does it. Shotaro Ashino beats Kazuchika Okada and is the new heavyweight champion. What a win for Shotaro Ashino. Beating Okada, now the new heavyweight champion. Got a little upset. Now we'll just let it be. But yeah, and then post-show press conference, basically Okada, we see him, he puts the belt around as far as Ashino, raises his hand, gives him his moment, steps back heads up into the ramp, and they have their press conference, and, Okada's just, I'm sure a lot of people probably expected me to be upset, but if I was to lose this belt, it's nice to lose to a Chaos member. This is what I wanted when I brought in Shotaro Ashino and Joe Doring. We wanted to elevate Chaos. We wanted to make Chaos the biggest and best brand in New Japan, and that's exactly what we're doing. Shino now the heavyweight champion. we're only going up from here. And he's just thinking like, listen, I haven't had the Intercontinental title ever. Might focus my intentions with that. As as far as that goes, and maybe even teaming up with Ishii to be a tag team champion, kind of spins it to where he's thinking. It's like maybe even go back and be a U.S. champion again. That Ashino, he's backing him. Basically, the idea there is to basically squash any like thoughts of like, is Okada going to be jealous? Is he going to be? What's he what's he thinking? What's he feeling? But the co-main event, Nakamura versus Zack Sabre Jr. Nakamura finally beats him. Great win for Shinsuke Nakamura. This will now be his 7th run as the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, which is a lot, but this is a nice win for him. As far as for Zack Sabre Jr., 4 defenses, good first run as Intercontinental Champion. 155 days, good little run. From October to April, that's not bad at all. That's not a bad run. Really, the big thing here is, with Nakamura, it's kind of weird because he's had that many reigns, but he's only had 2 now in this save, which going back to back. And really the big thing here is Nakamura, he's lost every time he's faced him. So we needed something to go the right direction for him. Of course, 97 and 99, so we have a high bar to clear for the co-main. We'll see what happens, though. That should be a banger, though, obviously. Tag team title matchup, Young Bucks, Hiromu, and Naito. Naito and Hiromu are going to get the win. As, the Young Bucks beat them during the Road to Fantasticamania earlier this year. Then they had the Tag League, or earlier last year, rather, and then Hiromu and Naito beat them during the Tag League. So they're 1-1 going into this matchup. Hiromu and Naito getting the win now, and Naito getting that win for his team, which his contract's coming up. We're going to extend him, obviously, because it's Tetsuya Naito, but just interesting that his contract came up. Then Josh Alexander will lose to Bryan Danielson. This is a great opportunity for Josh, but he's going to fall short to Bryan Danielson here. Excited to see what Bryan does, because now he did have some morale issues, but we fixed that. So I wanted to make sure he was at his best shape for this event. And then Miro, Kota Ibushi for the New Japan Strong Openweight title. Ibushi will win. That's his 2nd defense? Oh, his 1st defense. Alrighty. He hasn't had a defense in a while. Good. About time. He's had the belt for 42 days. Bit long to not have a defense, but he finally gets it against Miro there. Then a junior tag team title matchup, Shelly Tamato against Makabe and Gresham, which Makabe and Gresham will get the win here. And they won the series there as far as 1-1-1. Not anymore. 2-1-1 for United Empire against Liberty United. That's, of course, they've had, the belts. 87 days since Wrestle Kingdom, basically, but 3rd defense. That's the most since the Liberty United run from January to May. So that's tied for the most in the series so far, which is kind of hilarious. Actually, not really, because this should have been 6. So technically, it should be 6 but it's all fucked up. Yeah, it should be 6. Yeah, never mind. Don't mind. Don't mind that. So there's 3 behind, nonetheless. But it's a good little match, obviously. And then Astronauts versus Jay White and Masashi Takeda. I kind of want to use Ishimori instead of Takeda, so we're going to do that. Just a little switch here, as we'll have Takeda Nomura still beat Ishimori to help him out a little bit, but I just feel like it's going to be a better match. I think it levels up a little better, too. Then House of Inokiism versus Dark Order. Technical Masterclass match, of course, as Dark Order going to beat the House of Inokiism team. This should be a good little matchup, though. We'll see how the Technical Masterclass side of things are going to go, because obviously this team is a little bit out of depth when it comes to that. But Hobbs going to beat Shibata there. It's a good win. It's a good win for sure. We'll take a look and see. So we're good there. As far as if we're going to do any more post-show things, might do one with Nakamura. It's always fun to have Nakamura. As just kind of talking about what Bryan did to him, and he's saying he won't forget it. As far as maybe potentially down the road, heavyweight, or about to say heavyweight, U.S. champ versus Intercontinental champion. Title matchup there, winner takes all type of thing. Just a little building there. Talking about his big win against Zack and and whatnot. Yeah, this is a good little card, though, for sure. I'm pleased with it. Think having that main and co-main is obviously going to be pretty class, but we just need a big-time main event, really, if it's able to follow that co-main. We'll see. As far as Dark Order, the Junior Dark Order team, taken on we might go with Lucha Brothers here. I know Ray Phoenix, he's had an interesting run as of late. Of course, beating Okada, then having the actual match with Okada at the Cup, I felt like it was a nice chance to kind of give him a break before we get rocking and rolling with him again. But having, as far as Ray Phoenix, Pentagon Jr., and we'll go with Shota Umino. Go with Shooter. But this is going to be a win for Black Taurus again. He's going to beat Shota Umino. Not the best of pre-show matches, but obviously with Phoenix being involved, it should go pretty well. One would hope. Then we'll go with a tag as the other pre-show matchup. But yeah, we rolled through that episode pretty fast. I know we were pretty much, we had pretty much the card lined up going into this episode already, so when that happens, it makes things a little bit more easier. We'll have Francesco and Eagles take on Top Flight. Love that match. So we had, they only done this once. But Top Flight gonna get the win here. So we'll have Dante get the win over Francesco. Fun little match. Alrighty. 13 minutes. Alright. So double check, make sure that's good. Yep, we're good to go. Let's run it. As a 70 for the first of two pre-show matches. It's a good little match. Alrighty. 450 splash, though, for Dante Martin. Wrong team won, but it was close. I mean, it was pretty close. 77 for the sixth man. So Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. way above everybody else on the Dark Order side. But Shota Umino is so far below everybody else that he cost his team the win as Black Taurus again with the Infernal Suplex. Getting the win there as a 67. Interesting. We should have gave it more time. But only a 67. It's not great. We're playing up against Dark Order strength. I think really hurt that match. But everybody did about the same. Could have went either way. But Will Hobbs beating Shibata with the Order of Business. It's a good win, though, for Dark Order. Nonetheless, 78 for Astronauts against Ishimori and Jay White. An upset. But, what a win for Astronauts as Jay White and Ishimori take the loss as Takuya Noir with the Dragon Suplex over Taiji Ishimori. And an 80 for the Junior Tag Team title matchup as Makabe and Gresham beating Shelley and Tomato in 20 minutes as the Arm Trap German Suplex for Daniel Makabe on Alex Shelley. Great win there, their third defense. Of course, Gresham and Makabe, hell of a team, 80 and 82, not bad at all. It's an 84 for Kota Ibushi and Miro. Just barely missed out on that 85 mark, but Ibushi gets the win with the Last Ride style Tiger Driver. Holy shit. What a win for Ibushi there. Nice night for Blastoff, though, over House of Torture. And the 89 for the U.S. title matchup as the Lapel Lock for Bryan Danielson over Josh Alexander, making that his fourth defense. 93 in-ring performance, 73 for Josh Alexander. Very much out of his element, but a fun match to have nonetheless for Josh Alexander. It's a great opportunity. A 98, goddamn, for this Young Bucks Hiromu Naito matchup for the tag team titles as their second defense for Hiromu and Naito is Naito with the Destino over Matt Jackson. Good call. Two teams, though, we have a team with great chemistry and excellent chemistry. It's kind of fucked up. Matt and Nick Jackson don't have excellent chemistry, but that's beside the point. Great win, though, for Hiromu and Naito. A 98 again for Shinsuke Nakamura and Zack Sabre Jr. A Samoan driver win. That is not happening. Boomaye all fucking day as Nakamura gets the win and is the Intercontinental Champion yet again. Great match, though. We'll see if that main event can follow both the tag team and Intercontinental title matchup. It does. Holy shit. As Ashino beats Okada with the Avalanche Team-Bone Suplex. What a win. Ashino has had some big-time moments for us. And I think to finally win that IWGP Heavyweight title is huge. And to do it as a part of Chaos, too, is very interesting. Beating Okada like that. Huge. Absolutely huge. What a win, though. What a show. First of all, and a 99 with a 298, you can't beat that. I mean, you could have 100 and 100, but we tried. we we keep on trying to get that 100. I can't believe that was a 99 though. It's pretty shocking, honestly. But we just were rolling there. We're gonna give some love to Ashino. Big time win. Okada for putting him over. Way to go. And I guess Hiromu maybe? Naito maybe? We'll go with Hiromu, I guess. I know Hiromu did a really, really good job in that tag match. But yeah, that's good stuff. Great show. Yeah, 2 thumbs up for this guy. That's gonna be a tough show to beat, really, for the show of the year. That's gonna be tough. We'll see how we follow this up, though, into the next episode. Thank you all for watching, as this has been quite the run as far as for the save. I feel like we haven't had like a bad episode in a long time, probably since the Best Super Juniors our first ever one back in 2020. But Jesus, I mean, what a win for Ashino, and I felt like that Sakura Genesis. That's gonna be it's just crazy to think. I mean, that Wrestle Kingdom show that we had, I was like, man, this is gonna be tough to beat, and it's been beat by Sakura Genesis. And even then, the Cup was fun. Like, it was a 91. New Beginning show was a 94. Like, and then the Sapporo show kind of stunk, but the Osaka show was a 94 though. And even the anniversary show was a 90. So like, we're 4 years in, we should be doing stuff like this. But it's nice to know that we can get even to the mountaintop, if you will, as far as for the company and getting even better. I want that 99 show rating. I want that 100 match rating. I want the 100 show rating. But yeah, on to Wrestling Nutaku. We're doing very well money-wise. We might do some more investments into New Japan World. I saw we had about 6.5 million people watching the show. I want to get up to at least 7 or 8 million, maybe even to the tens if we can by the end of the save. But yeah, thank you all for watching again, and we'll catch you guys next time for the Wrestling Nutaku episode. Take care, everyone.